Hello. This is a quick little video on getting better text-to-speech for Linux. And I had been using the festival voices, and they're kind of awful. I can play that for you now.
gTTS Google Text-to-Speech a Python library, and CLI tool, to interface with Google Translate, Text-to-Speech API, writes spoken MP3 data, to a file like object byte string, for further audio manipulation, or SDAUD.
So to my mind, that's very robotic and not very pleasant to listen to, and we can do better. Here's the gTTS module.
gTTS, Google Text-to-Speech, a Python library and CLI tool to interface with Google Translate's text-to-speech API. Writes spoken MP3 data to a file like object, byte string, for further audio manipulation, or STD out.
So it's pretty easy to get install and set up. You need to run this command here to install gTTS. Of course, this is a Python module that we're installing, so we're using pip. You might run into some issues. For example, if you're still using Python 2, I believe that when this was written, it was written for Python 2, and you actually have to do a pip3 install. I think that's what I did. Let me take a look here. So yeah, it took me a little while to get this going, and I think that I went through a few different ways of installing this before I could get it to work. And actually, I think that what was required ultimately was to use Python -m pip3 install gTTS. It seems to me that Python 3 has deprecated the wrapper for pip3 install. Anyway, it was a little bit difficult to get this to work. Let me see if I can find this Python -m. All right, so this problem occurred with using PyAudio, and also with installing speech recognition. So it's something to keep in mind. If you run this pip install command and you have some difficulties, you might want to try the Python -m pip3 install gTTS command instead. It might help. And then once you get this running, get out of this. Let's see. Once you get this running, you're going to want to use Excel. Excel is a command that will grab whatever is currently copied up to the clipboard, or what's highlighted. I guess what it does is it takes whatever is highlighted, copies it to the clipboard, and then pushes it through a pipe. So what's happening here is we're getting the contents of whatever is highlighted, and we're passing it to gTTS-CLI, which is the command line interface for gTTS, as opposed to the code you would write inside of a Python program. And I'm not sure what the dash stands for here. Generally, it would signal that we were going to have some sort of a switch, but I don't think that's what it means here. My shell scripting has become ancient history, so I don't remember a lot of these things, but it's required here. So we're going to put that and then pipe it through to play -t MP3 with another dash here. This works. I can't tell you exactly why. And you have to install the play program also. So here it is, sudo apt-get install MPlayer. And then you'll be able to run this. You can see here I was trying to test the command line interface here. In case you're wondering what I'm doing here is I'm filtering through my history. When I hit Command R, it brings this up, this history filter, and whatever I type in here, it starts to filter by. So this is very helpful if you don't remember what you did before. You can use Control R. I think that this is actually, I'm not sure if it's directly a part of ZSH or if it is a plugin. I think it's a plugin, and I don't remember which one, but it's very helpful. If you don't have this, you can always do a history and then pipe it to grep -i. I like to use -i unless you're positive about the cases using. Grep is case sensitive, and this makes it case insensitive. And then you can put in, I don't know, whatever it is you're looking for. But this Control R is just a little easier because it also allows you to run the command. And a lot of times if you're looking for a command, it's because you want to run it. So anyway, once you get this working, you can test it like this to play some MP3 file, make sure that it's working. And then once that's done, you can go into your keyboard settings. So here are view and change keyboard shortcuts, and scroll all the way down to the bottom and hit the plus key. And in this case, I called this Goog Speech. I created a file in user local bin called googspeech.sh. I set the bit on it to be executable with chmod plus x, googspeech.sh, and assigned it to the control plus the super key plus the L key. And so whenever I highlight something and I press Control Super L, then it reads it back with that better voice. The old voice that I had was here in this file called Speak It. Instead of Goog Speech, it was called Speak It. And if I come out here and I cat that file, you'll see that it's using the festival voices, and that shows up right here. These other lines are commented out, as you can see. Some little experiment I was doing that didn't work out 100% well. But anyway, once again, it's Excel grabbing the text, passing it through to Festival with a -- TTS switch, and that's text to speech, and -- pipe, because we're using a pipe here for input rather than an audio file like an MP3, which is, I believe, when Festival was written, was probably the main task was to play back MP3 files and not grab audio from or data from a pipe. So that's why this switch is necessary. But as I said, it's not nearly as good a voice as what you can get from gTTS. And so I highly recommend that you go this route, as long as Google is allowing people to do free text-to-speech conversion. And until, I guess it's deep speech that's probably going to be sitting on computers before too long, so that we don't have to go into the cloud for this. But for right now, this works very well, and getting deep speech to work is a big pain in the ass. It's more than I'm willing to go through just to have some text read back to me when I'm too lazy to read it myself. Anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this, and bye-bye.